Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we were making this box the last time, and I said it would come in two. So do look back on my last video and you'll see how I made this. I've done it with designer series paper, cut the sizes to go round, stuck it on with Tombow glue, distressed it with some sandpaper all the way round, or you could use an emery board, and then used So Saffron ink to just distress round the edges on there to make it you know, more of an actual box. And then I said I was going to come back and we were going to do some something else with it to just sort of jazz it up a bit. So I've taken, because this is the Daisy Delight paper, which, as I say, is by the time this video comes out will have come to an end. It was in the celebration, but any designer series paper you could use. I use Tombow because, as you can see, it just makes it really smooth. So Dainty Delight, and these are the Dainty Delight dies. And I have taken, my favourite one is this lovely little tiny die. It's beautiful, very intricate. There's lots of dies in here that coordinate with the papers and sentiments and things. But this little flower I really love. So what I've done is I've taken quite a few of them and I'm going to dot them about. I've done them in 3 different colours. So I'm going to take them and just put them in on here on the top with some Tombow wet glue. As I've said, I use Tombow for absolutely everything because it's got a fine little nozzle and you can very easily just go up each one of these little petals and put them on. Now I could put it on with dimensionals and in fact I might do a few, but I'm thinking for practicality excuse me, I think it works better just with the same layer, because you have that little bit of texture coming through, but it is just slightly different. So I'm just sort of popping some, and I think I'm going to do 3. Just put that one in on there. So we've got 1, 2, and there's another. I've done 3 different colours, literally just for some scraps. So that's a slightly different colour from there. I'm going to take that one up at the top, I think. And then what I wanted to do was to just add, as I say, this is where it's down to your own personal decoration to add what you want. I'm going to put one up on here. So that comes over the top. I really like that it sort of just went with those colours. So I think that's fine on the top. And now I'm going to take, again, this is in the annual catalogue, and it's Flowers Adhesives, but they work really well in the centre. Now I'm using, you've got gold and you've got silver. I'm going to use the gold because, in fact, no, you've got 3. You've got gold, silver, and you've got sort of copper. So I think I'm going to use the coppery ones this time. So I'm just going to make sure that they come off their block, and I'm just going to put those in the center of the flower. So we've got 1, 2, and we'll put this one in as well into the center, because it's a special one and it's not going anywhere. You can sort of be a little bit indulgent with your sparkles and things. So that makes the top of the box absolutely beautiful. But I also want to put some round the side. So I am going to turn the box up this way so we can see it. And I'm just going to literally work round a few. So I haven't decided how many. I think it's going to be however many will fit, but I want to do it sort of in spaces. So we've got 1 like that there, in between where the flowers are. So one there, we'll have this one, which is more sort of the orangey tone. And we'll put that one in. I think I want them fairly close together, about that sort of distance, I think. So that's 1, 2. And then we'll have the darker pink. Don't ask me what colours these are, because these are literally from my scrap box, which I've got scraps dating back a long time. So that's going to be there, that's going to be there. I'm literally just sort of taking them roughly the same distance. It doesn't matter hugely. If you're very precise, you might want to measure it, but for me, I'm just sort of looking and seeing roughly where I think it's going to come, and then I'll put it on from there. So this is going to come about there, middle of those ones. That one can come in on, so what do we want, the pale pinky one? And it's only because I've done quite a few, and it's going to be a, you know, pretty little trinket box that I'm adding quite a few, but I think that it will make it just look a little bit prettier. So that's that one, that's the dark one. Oh, I might not have enough to go all the way around, actually. I might have to put some yellow in between. How far are we? Oh, we're quite a way, aren't we? Okay, I'm going to put some more yellows in. So let's have a yellow and a, oops, put a yellow one in on there. Then we can have another coloured one. Oops. I say do as many as you want. I'm just doing them for just a little bit of extra. I thought it would be a nice idea for using up this, or upcycling this lovely little box. So I wanted to make it, you know, quite pretty, and I think it will look lovely. And then I'm going to add some, I think, felt. I think I'll have it as a trinket box. Let's put that one there, and we're going to have this one in between on there. So I think my spacing is probably going to be a little bit wide around the back, but to be quite honest, I don't think it matters hugely. So I'm going to put this one in just about there, in on the middle, and that can go like that. So we've got those all the way around, which makes it look quite pretty. A couple of those ones left, which is fine. And then I am going to do exactly the same thing with these ones, and I'm going to put these little these little flowers in, just in on the center, because as I say, I think that they just make it look quite pretty. So whoops, flying about all over the place. Make sure we've got that in straight. That's one. But I think that these are really rather nice, these little gems. They do work beautifully for the centre of a flower. And as I say, if you're doing it as a jewellery box, then it does make it look a little bit nicer, I think. So let's pop these all the way round, and then I've got to work out what I'm going to do on the bottom and on the top. I'm just going to work, whoops, just throwing that one on my lap. I keep saying I need a pair of tweezers. I'm not very good with tweezers though, because my dexterity with my hands, as I've said to you before, is not the greatest. So I tend to struggle with picking things up with scissors and stuff, whereas this actually works quite well using scissors or the take your pick tool, which again I use often. I used it for taking all the little pieces out of the flowers out of the die to just pop them out. Oh, look at that. Last one stuck to my finger. Which must be that way up. Is it that way up? I don't know whether it's got its little sticky thing on. Let's just pop that in and see. Has it got its sticky on? Yes, it has. There we are. So I think they look really pretty around there. So you've got those coming in, that coming in like that. I think that that looks absolutely lovely. And then all I would do is on the inside, depending what, if you're doing it as a gift, you could just leave it. What I'm probably going to do is to cut a piece of felt on the inside, or a piece of really sort of soft fabric. I could, here's a piece of tissue that I've got. If I wanted to, I could just put something like that in, a nice piece of silky fabric. I think would work perfectly. I don't want to actually completely decorate that, but I am going to, on the bottom on here, because it's going to be resting on a surface, I'm just going to put a piece of felt on the bottom of there, so that then that makes it as a box. But I think that that's really rather pretty. Really sweet idea, very easy to do, and it's a bit of upcycling, and all I've used is a piece of designer series paper, just some scraps I had left over, and then again take your scraps for your flowers, a few little twinklies on there to just brighten it up. And there you go, you've got a very simple and easy project. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.